times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump these hoes. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start, screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, guess it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes Benz. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God. Who is it? Real liberty, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. Daddy came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause you know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a rain. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Beers help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Hold on, okay, there we go. We having to. Okay, there we go. The volumes together. Shalom and shalom. Shabbat shalom to you. If you are observing the Sabbath today and the sun is still upon you where you are, Shabbat shalom to you. Greetings and salutations to everyone else. What's up? How y'all been? What's going on? Brianna, shalom, sis. All praises to the Most High for being here this evening, for keeping us. The craziness going on in the world today as usual. I don't know if y'all heard about like that shooting at the mall in Texas and just thing after thing after thing, but all praises to the Most High. We are here. We are safe. I hope everyone that's connected to you is doing well. I hope your family is doing well and prospering and all the good things. Shout out to my hubby right here in my upper corner, because I don't know if it's right or left to you, but in the upper corner there, that's my husband right there, Mr. Monologue McGad himself. If you are on the YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Now, I do have another YouTube channel at Miss Mono's World. It's not ready yet, y'all. I did not realize it. Like, you had to wait 24 hours to go live on YouTube, like some kind of like a background check. I don't know what they do. Like, they verify your phone number, and they verified my phone number, and then said I had to wait 24 hours. So I'm waiting. So, but next week I'll be live on at Miss Mono's World, trying to build that up. And it might be like, what you need another YouTube for just my content, because my husband's YouTube, we don't want to bombard my husband's YouTube with all my stuff. Like, we want it to be for his music, you know? So all my housewife stuff, cooking stuff is going to be at Miss Mono's World. So be looking out for that. So our main topic today, why Boaz don't want your ass. You won't work, won't build, and won't clean. So we're gonna go into this like latest trend of women now insisting that they don't want to work. Not just a regular job. They don't want to work at home. Like, it's not good enough now for them to just be housewives. Now you have to have staff. They have to be able to relax all day and not have to exert any type of effort or any type of labor. And so we're going to talk about that and what's going on in Babylon. So, okay. Now I know, in the 90s, we had access to different types of news and information. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, like when I talk to my husband about different things or rumors or stuff, he's like, no, that wasn't going on down here. So what I'm getting ready to talk about now, this issue with Jay-Z's alleged son, like this man is saying that he's his son. This isn't new news to us. Like, if you grew up in the Northeast, this isn't news. They've been talking about Jay-Z had a son out there. I think he supposedly has a daughter as well. But I'm going to show y'all this video real quick. This is not my content. I'm just using it for discussion purposes. So fair use, all that good stuff. But let's watch this video real quick. It's like 2 minutes. No, hold on. Not that one. Sorry, y'all. I watched it earlier.
So Jay's alleged son takes a paternity test battle to Supreme Court. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and check this out. So Ramir Satterthwaite, who has been claiming to be Hova's son for decades, has taken his case to the Supreme Court. In an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail published on Monday, May 8th, he claims that he wants nothing more from Jay-Z than to see what he called justice served. Ramir also claimed that part of his demand includes unsealing the court documents so he can pursue the case against Jay-Z successively. This is not going to be over until justice is served. I just want to live my life, and when it's all said and done, I hope that Jay-Z will want to be a part of my life if that is God's will. I won't stop fighting for this until I win, and I will win because the law is on our side. The battle first began when Ramir's mother, Wanda, came forward with the claim that she'd had sex with Hova in the 1990s when she was going through a rough patch with her high school sweetheart. Wanda claimed at the time that she's been battling Jay-Z in court since at least 2012, and she was disrespected by his legal team. At that time, too, their lawsuit claimed an attorney that the Satterthwaites hired was best friends and neighbors with Jay's lawyer, and they worked together to create procedural problems that led the case to be thrown out. And even back then, Ramir claimed that he wasn't looking for a piece of the massive Carter fortune, rather he just wanted the rapper to acknowledge him as his son. It's never about money for me. My whole thing was just to see who my father was, and honestly, I get my own money. I work 2 jobs, I take care of my own business. Ramir upped his claims again after DNA testing conclusively proved that his mother's high school sweetheart, Robert Graves, was not his biological father. And since Wanda, who has since passed away, insisted that she only had sex with 2 men in her life, Graves and Jay-Z, Ramir petitioned Jay-Z's attorney to submit to DNA testing, but Hova allegedly never complied with the request. This refusal began a lengthy legal battle that continues to this day, though it's unclear if the Supreme Court can compel Jay-Z to submit to genetic testing should Ramir's request be successful. But Jay-Z's attorneys have denied Ramir's claims. The allegations have been previously reviewed thoroughly by the courts and have been refuted. I am sure that will be the outcome of whatever filings Mr. Satterthwaite may be currently considering. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date on all of
Okay, so as you can see from the video, this has been going on for a while. Like, he was born in the 90s. Supposedly, his mother and Jay-Z got together or were together in the 90s, and his mother has passed, unfortunately. So it's like he's trying to fight this battle by himself. Not surprised. Okay, what are you not surprised about? Are you not surprised that he has a child out there that he's not claiming? Or are you not surprised that the son is now coming out trying to get him to be legitimized? Because the thing for me, the thing is, thank you, yes, fair use, fair use. The thing for me is, he's saying like, oh, this isn't about money. I just want him to be a part of my life. But if you have to drag someone through all of this, that would lead me to believe that there's no chance of him being a part of your life. He doesn't want to be a part of your life. I don't believe what he's saying. I don't believe that this is just, oh, innocent. I just want to know who my father is. And I just want him to be a part of your life. Now, if he was just saying, like, listen, I just want to know if he's really my dad, that's it, then fine. But this whole I just want him to be a part of my life claim, I'm not buying that. I'm not gonna call it a money grab. I'm not just gonna come out and call it a money grab. That he's denying he's his child. So here's the thing, right? I feel like if this would have been like something that came out after he got married, then the denial would make sense. But I agree. I'm not surprised that he's denying the child. I just don't understand why. I don't get it. This was way before his marriage. I don't understand why he's denying the child. But also, then we have to ask, how come the mother never spoke up? How come she never said anything? Was there some kind of understanding or agreement? Was she being like, how come she didn't say anything before she passed? She didn't make a big deal out of this, but he is. So he puts it, like you heard in the video, he petitioned him for the paternity, and Jay-Z denied to submit to the testing. So now it's going all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they're not even sure if they can demand that he takes the paternity test, because for what? This man is grown. There's no need to determine paternity for a case of child support. You can't go back and get back child support. So what legal ground do they have to make him do this? I don't know. It's kind of seems a little crazy to me. But just another reason why I'm so hard on my sons, like, don't have sex until you get married, please. Just don't have sex until you get married. That's the best way to protect your seed. Just do not even have sex until you know that this is your wife and y'all are going to be together forever. Period. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to y'all about. So I wanted to share a video, but it looks like the stream is not going to let me do it. Hold on, because I did want y'all to see this. Okay, if it starts acting up, okay. What was I doing? I was searching. Okay, no, it's shade. Okay, I'm gonna take it down. So let me just talk to y'all about it. Okay, I was searching the shade room trying to find an article today, and there's this article about like the uptake in male Black men getting plastic surgery. And I'm like, what? And then on the article, it's like, I think he's a rapper. I hate to sound like an old lady, right? But I just don't know everything anymore. So Bandman Kevo, I think is his name. But he did this whole big interview about how he had lipo and his abdominals defined and all this other stuff. Um and how in the article they were saying how even though the percentage of males getting plastic surgery is significantly less than females, it is climbing more than it was in the past. And you know what? Okay, so if you go and watch the video, it's on the Shade Room. You could just search like male plastic surgery. Um, it seems to be very, ooh, how can I say this? Um, it seems to be very controversial, if you understand what I'm saying. Like the men that they featured, and I'm not generalizing, I'm not assuming, please. Okay. But the men that they featured in the article and the men that they were talking about do not necessarily come off as the type of men that maybe would be attracted to someone like myself, if you know what I'm saying. Um, so I'm not gonna say that it's just the eligibility community thing because again, none of these men like proclaimed that that's what it was. It made it seem like they were doing this to be more attractive to women because the man said, and I can't believe he said that, but he was like, I got the plastic surgery because I didn't want any women that I'm interested in to be cheating on me. And that honestly, it sounded so pitiful to me because who thinks like that? But then you have to realize that women think like this all the time. Just say it. They seem to be. I didn't want to say it, but thank you for saying it. But that's how they seem to be. That's the impression they gave, right? And yes, exactly. Very insecure. And I know, I'm probably not supposed to say this because we're supposed to be all woke and enlightened and stuff. Um, it's one thing for a woman to be insecure, it's a whole nother thing for a man to be insecure. Okay. I can't deal with that. Not to the point that you're willing to have surgery done. Not to the point that you're willing to risk your life and go through that and, and spend that kind of money. There's so much that goes into building up to the surgery, to consenting to it, to going through the process. Very feminine. Yes, it's very much given feminine. Um and I guess as a woman who has not went to that measure, maybe I just can't understand that mindset. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to improve your body without exercise and even beyond exercise. Like some things exercise just isn't gonna do. Like, no matter how much we try, sometimes we're just not gonna get back to our high school bodies, and we have to accept that. But I consider myself truly blessed. Like my husband still oogles and ogles over my body, so I don't have that issue. I'm not lacking physical appreciation. So maybe I just don't understand. But as a woman, I could not be involved with a man that would go that far because and now I used to always hear when I was a child that you should never date a man that thinks he looks better than you. You should never date a man that thinks he looks better than you, because you're always going to be in competition. You're never going to get to be the highlight of the relationship because he thinks it's all about him. And sir, okay. And I'm trying to let you. He's going to think it's all about him. You're never going to be the focal point of the relationship. And that is very, like, you should not take longer than me to get ready. We shouldn't both be going to the hairdresser together and we both taking the same amount of time. I don't know. I know they say that it's possible to be very masculine, but still be kind of, modern, I guess, about your upkeep. They like to call it metrosexual or whatever. I've never liked that at all. We shouldn't we shouldn't be comparing our waistlines. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying men shouldn't be concerned about their body and their image, and I'm not saying that women don't cheat on it. I'm not saying not to stay in shape. But I don't understand the willingness, again, to put your life on the line. I don't think people understand when you go under that anesthesia, someone else is breathing for you. Someone else is maintaining your heartbeat. You are not in control of anything. You are totally paralyzed. So just even that, putting your life on the line to that extreme, honey, if you're going to cheat on me because because I'm a little fat, then you just need to go on and cheat on me, because why? And I really feel very sorry for you single sisters that's out here trying to date, because these men got lace front toupees now. They got lace front dreadlocks, and now they going out getting lipo, getting their calves done, getting pec implants. They out here with Botox and everything. Next thing you know, y'all both gonna be shopping for contour and highlighter at Sephora. Please, let me. And see, I'm not supposed to say this stuff, right? Because it's generalizing and all this other stuff. But this is the kind of stuff that y'all need to pay attention to. These be the kind of red flags that occur early on in a relationship. But because you're trying to be modern and you're trying to believe in equality, you'll ignore them. And then when you catch him laid up with Jerome, you trying to figure out, well, how did this even happen? Honey, we could have told you what was going on, but you didn't want to listen. And again, this is just my opinion, okay? I wish a nigga would pull up with a lace front. Purses and all, honey. He gonna be trying to borrow your jeans and your t-shirts and your underwear. And I know, right? Like, you're not. I know I'm not supposed to say this stuff, but I cannot deal. Listen, it's one thing to be a pretty boy, okay? It is one thing to be a pretty boy. It is a total other thing to feel like your looks are more important than mine. Like, I'm supposed to be looking and shit. And see, this is another thing that people don't want to accept. Ma'am, sis, cousin, in order for the relationship to work, he's got to love you a little bit more than you love him. And if he think he look better than you should not be with a man that looks down upon you for any reason. Okay. And let me tell you something. Any man that's putting that much attention, time into his look, into that kind of vanity, he's not very much a level-headed man. And I have no qualms about saying that. And I have no qualms about saying that because my husband works his fingers to the bone 12, 14, 16, 18. Sometimes this man has worked a straight 24 hours through. He don't have time to be worried about Botox and fillers and all this other stuff. Not saying he don't keep his stuff up, but he keeps his stuff up to an appropriate level for a man. He gonna go to the gym. He gonna throw some weights around. He gonna make sure he look healthy. He gonna keep up his beard. You know what I'm saying? He gonna keep himself up in a manly fashion. Any man that has that kind of interest, that kind of time, y'all need to like look again. Again, this red flag. Huge red flag, okay? We talking about some plastic surgery, tummy tucks, and like walk away, like run all the way away. Okay, so for our main topic, why Boaz don't want your ass? You won't work, you won't build, you won't clean. And so I wanted to talk about this because I'm noticing a trend now in the dating arena. And this trend seems to be women now, Black women, that's what we're talking about here, now are demanding or, setting their standard that they don't want to have to work at all. They don't want to have to help you build anything. They don't want to do anything. You should have staff on hand. They shouldn't have to clean. They shouldn't have to pick up a finger. They should live a life of leisure. There was a time when, the dream was to have a soft life where you didn't necessarily have to go and punch a clock. You could stay home, take care of your kids. This is less stressful than getting up, fighting traffic, dealing with your boss, coming home, and then still having to do everything else. And I think this is maybe the part that people don't seem to understand. Like, if you've never had to do that, if you've never had to work a full-time job and then also come home and try to take care of a family, then you don't understand how much of a relief it is to not have to work that job anymore. And so here's another problem with young, single, inexperienced women making demands on things that they have no knowledge of. The fact of the matter is, okay, even if you graduate from college, even if you are a licensed professional, a lot of us are only first generation. Like, our family, we're first generation entrepreneurs. Both of our sets of parents have had to work for other people. We are blessed enough not to have to do that right now, right? But this is just the first generation of that. So even when my sons grow up, they will only be the second generation, right? And while we plan on, yes, me and my husband plan on leaving plenty for our children and their children, but I don't know how, I don't know if, no, I do know. I can tell you that I would have a problem with my sons dating a woman who feels like she doesn't have to do anything, who feels like she's not going to work. All she's going to do is pop out some babies and that's it. And now there are women that are walking around like this and they're bragging about it. And I hate it because they're misleading other women, okay? Now, again, I tell y'all all the time, I don't pretend to know what a man wants. I don't pretend to know a man's thought process. But as a person who's had to work a full-time job, I know that if I'm married and my husband was staying home all day and I had to go and work my job and then come home, take care of the kids, clean, cook dinner, put everybody to bed. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? And see, this is there's a few like aspects to this thing. And I'm not saying that there aren't some men that tolerate that. I would be a fool to sit here and say that, oh no, no, no. I'm sure there are men that tolerate that for whatever reason, I don't know. But how long, really, how long is that lifestyle sustainable to where both parties are happy and satisfied? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I know me. Okay. I try to be as honest with myself as possible at all times. And I know that if when I would have got married, my husband would have just laid down like a doormat and do whatever I wanted to do, honey, I'd still be for the streets. And I'm just being honest with you. Because just I mean, if there's no boundaries, and so for me, knowing that I wanted a man that was going to lead, guide, direct in the ways of the Lord, it would be hard to even be attracted to someone like that. I don't see how there's any kind of respect in that kind of relationship. And now hear me, my single sisters, okay? I know it might sound good. Like, what, he do whatever I ask him to do. He let me spend whatever I want to spend. What? But I guarantee you, as somebody who's been on Reddit, as somebody who's been in these anonymous Facebook groups where people come to complain about their spouse, I promise you that if they're not saying it out loud to you, they're saying it to someone. They're sitting around with their aunts and their cousins and their mothers talking about how lazy you are, how you don't do nothing at home, and how he's tired of it. I promise you. But this is the part that they don't tell you. But we've talked about this before, right? Women lying and misleading other women, making them think like, oh yeah, well, my man does this and my man does that. And I got niggas that do this and they pay all my bills and lies. And it all be lies. And sometimes you can see through it, sometimes you can't. But I don't like that these women get on here and spew these lies on social media now, okay, to countless other people. And now you have other single women thinking that this is the way to build a healthy relationship. Ma'am, sis cousin. Excuse me. Let me read this comment. I agree because I don't want to push over who does whatever I tell him to. It's not masculine at all to let a woman run over. It's not. And see, through the work, through the building, your man is reproving you, refining you. This is how you work through those issues. This is how things are brought to the forefront for you all to resolve them. And I know it's like hard to explain, but if you're not in the trenches working with someone, just your life is going to be very shallow and superficial. My husband and I, usually for the most part, are in the same building 24 hours a day. Even if it's just our home, we are in the same place about 24 hours a day. And there's a difference in our marriage now than it was when we were working. I mean, of course, that was early on and stuff. But just the time that we have to relate to each other, the ways that there's nothing that can really be hidden when you're with someone all the time. And I know you might be thinking like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. But if your heart is to be right before the Lord, and your heart is to be an example in your marriage, and your heart is to do right, then you're going to want that. You're going to welcome that reproof. You're going to welcome that judgment. You're going to welcome the feedback. The only kind of person, or the only kind of woman that doesn't want to get called out on her stuff, is someone with no intention of growing. You just want to stay in the same place that you are for the rest of your life. And that's what happens when you don't have anyone to challenge you, to hold you accountable. So, you feel like, oh, I don't want to do anything else. So you refuse to work. Excuse me. And so Boaz don't want your ass, okay? Because not only will you not hold down a job naturally, you don't want to do the emotional work or the communication work inside the relationship. This man can't say nothing to you that you don't like without you hanging up on him, blocking him, shutting down, giving him the silent treatment, not talking to him for 3 or 4 days. And I really feel sorry for the men that are married to women like these, because you're walking on eggshells in your own home, and nobody deserves to live like that. Nobody deserves to live like that. But it's kind of like I said before, like if you've never put any work into earning anything, if you've never put any work into building anything, then you don't appreciate what goes into it. And you don't appreciate the work that this other person has put in. Okay. Let's talk about you won't build. There's a joke going around, the hashtag about Barbara the Builder, how she helps her husband build his empire, build his companies, and then he just ups and leaves her. Now, let me be clear, okay? I'm not talking about being a doormat, a building block, if you will. I'm not talking about carrying the weight of everything on your shoulders. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But if you are courting a man, dating a man, and he has a vision laid out for you, or laid out for his future wife, um, and, and you can see the vision, you can get with the vision. What kind of fool are you to look this man in his face and tell him, I'm not helping you build anything? But that's the attitude that a lot of women have. They want the work to already be done when they get there. And this is the problem, like, with the world that we live in. This is the problem with the lies that we've been told, especially when it comes to equality, financial equality amongst the races. The fact of the matter is that for the most part, Black people have not had the time, the chance to build this generational wealth that you see so common among the other races. So yes, you're looking at these women tell you that, oh, I don't have to work, we have staff, da 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 da, but you don't understand that how long this money has been in their family. You don't understand the price that may have been paid for them to live that life. That's the thing. We just look and we just see the aesthetic, and because someone has all the bling, and because they can make the appearance for social media, we just assume like, oh, this is a life that I want. But see, there's a problem with applying this kind of pressure to men who have not had the chance to accumulate that. You push them into other avenues of illegal income, and then when they're in jail for that, you want to blame them. And you send them through this vicious cycle. And it's like you want to say, well, oh, he made that choice. He made that choice. But when are even we as individuals going to take accountability for our part in the mindset of our society as a whole? We've all done some things. We've all said some things that have been against the will of God for our life and the will of God for our relationships and for our marriages. We all have. We all have to repent for that and ask God to please direct us into what we should be asking for in a marriage. I don't ask to be the kind of woman that I want to be. I ask to be the kind of wife that my husband needs. I ask to be the kind of woman that God needs me to be to do the things that I need to get done. The attitude of it all better be there when I get there is very selfish, and honestly, it's destructive. It's not only destructive to the people around you, but I feel like it's destructive to the person that holds this thought, because as long as you feel like no one is ever good enough for you, you never have to own your part of what goes wrong in your relationships, because in your mind they don't have enough money to afford me anyway, so there's no sense in me trying to be a decent human being, connect with them like a decent human being. See, a lot of times when we mistake for bouginess, it's really defense, lack of responsibility, running from accountability, refusing to grow up, immaturity. A lot of women feel like it's okay to act this way. It's okay to act like you're just so out of touch. Like, oh, I just, my standards are so high and I just need a man who can meet these standards. And, you average bums probably can't even live up to what I want. And it seems cool and all, right? Because there are some men that will chase that. There are some men that will chase that. But let me tell you about the downfall in that. When you start a relationship with this kind of game playing, push and pull, cat and mouse all the time, then you constantly have to keep this going. It's never a time of rest. Y'all can never just be together and just enjoy each other. It's always, oh, I got to get one up on him before he get one up on me. And I'm always got to look out to see what he doing to him, what he doing to me. It's faulty. And it's self-destructive. And I think that's the thing, that if we would sit around and just look around, look at your own track records of relationships. I'm going to be honest with you. Back in my day, the only time, I tried to make it is impossible is when I didn't like the dude anyway. That's the only time I tried to make it impossible. And a lot of y'all got to admit, sometimes that's what y'all do, and that's not fair to them. Just let them go. Just let them go. It's not fair to keep them holding on. Hey to everybody that's on my IG. I'm sorry, I got y'all in the corner over here. If you want to head on over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. That way you can see everything, be part of the conversation. Excuse me. If you're already on the YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Hey, B, shalom. What was I saying? Yeah, so my brothers, if y'all hear this, I might be giving away some game, but oh well. Listen, the only time you make it difficult, the only time you make yourself unreachable like that is when you don't like the dude. Just keep it real. If you like him, It doesn't matter if he have to take you to Applebee's, Chili's, it don't matter. If you like him, you'll go. And if you like him, you'll be willing to listen, and you'll be willing to say, like, okay, he got some potential. We could work with this. We can make something out of this. But if you don't like him, stop wasting the man's time. Like, we have to stop doing that. Stop wasting their time. Seriously. And here's the thing. I hate the generalizations. We as a people, we as a people tend to gravitate toward the lowest denominators of our behavior. What do you mean by that? Why the heck is Krishan and Blueface famous? Why? Why is baddies South, baddies West? Why is that even a thing? Why is Bad Boys a thing? Why is Zeus Network a thing? And if you have not been on Zeus Network, please just do some Googling, okay? It is ran by the Red Hat Mafia. And apparently what they do is they find Black people with no scruples, no morals, and pay them obscene amounts of money to put on television shows and embarrass themselves. Why is it a thing? Who do you think is watching Zeus Network? Who? And so now I admit I did because I want to know. I was curious. So I did. I watched like Baddies South and then like this last season of Baddies West. I watched it. And I'm going to tell you, when they would do, it's dumpster, okay? Dumpster. When they would do the club appearances, the club was full of Black people. The underbelly of the world is enjoying it only. The club was full of Black people. When they held the auditions to be on these shows, what do they do on these shows? If you're my age, you remember Bad Girls Club, right? Hey, peace, shalom, and shalom on the IG. You can head over to the YouTube at Monologue McGad, MONOLOG MAGAD. That way you can take part of the whole conversation. If you remember Bad Girls Club, on Bad Girls Club, what they do, they moved all the girls into a house. They would go out and party. You know, they would twerk a little bit. They would fight. That was a main thing, right? Getting in fights or whatever. And that was it. However, this baddie situation is like 20 times worse than that, okay? I mean, it's nudity, lesbianism, drug use, consistent drug use. I mean, consistent around the clock. Like, there's no time that these girls are in a confessional and everybody ain't high, okay? It's crazy. But so, why do we as a people support the lowest denominators among us? Why is that even profitable? Why are the housewives still profitable? And as much as I love it, it's some crap, y'all. All these women do is sit around. They make up fake things to argue about. They sit around, argue, talk so bad about each other. Why? And I know, right? I know. I'm guilty of supporting it too. And when you see people like Krishan and like Blueface and like these people that are on these shows, and they're just exhibiting the worst behavior for us, you have to acknowledge that, like I said before, they are getting paid obscene amounts of money to perform this way, to behave this way, to act this way. And it even carries over into their real life. I don't know how many of you have like stumbled upon these clips, but the latest clip was Krishan has set part of the house on fire. She had took this man's platinum plaque, the top to his coffee table, and some other stuff, and has started a fire in the middle of the house. And it's disturbing on so many levels. But again, this is what's giving as an example. This is what we are telling Black people that they have to look forward to, that they have to look up to. Look, this is how y'all act. This is what y'all do. So now you have these single, impressionable women, and I'm not even going to call them young, because it's women my age that are still impressionable by this bull crap. There's 42, 45, 50-year-old women right now getting naked on TikTok. Right now. I talked to y'all before about how even the doctors on Married to Medicine are subscribing to this same base behavior. They're twerking, they're fighting, they're dressing half naked. Our people, it's hard because you don't want to say, like, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, we just tend to gravitate to the worst, among us. No, I'm not going to say that's true. That's what's uplifted among us. Okay. Now that's what I will say. That's what that is what excuse me, is uplifted among us, right? So when you have these single Black women who may very well be very well paid. Let's look at like a Vivica Fox. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Vivica Fox. And I think it was Leah. We talked about this on Facebook the other day. Take someone like her, okay? Now, we've seen her come up through the movie, or if you're my age group, then you have seen her come up through the movies. You remember the whole fiasco when she was dating 50 Cent. I don't really remember. I can't say I remember her dating anyone else seriously, but we all remember 50 Cent. Where are the Proverbs 31 women? I don't know. We trying to find them, girl. We are trying to find them. Let's talk about it. Okay, so y'all remember her dating 50 Cent. And then she made this whole announcement. He broke up with her, and he was really like dogging her out. I don't know if y'all remember, but I mean, he was just saying how she was a horrible woman. He didn't want to be with her anymore. He talked about her body odor. I mean, he just really took her through the ringer like he does. Like, we all know how he talks about people. So he took her through the ringer like he does. And I'm not going to say she botched her face up like that because of him. But like, Vivica's never been ugly. She was never ugly. I don't recall her ever being ugly. I don't even, you know what I'm saying? As she aged, I don't recall her ever being ugly. She did go on talk shows and talked about him. She talked about him to Wendy Williams. Like, she said he's probably gay. They were going back and forth. He broke her heart. Did he? And here's what I'm gonna say about this sidebar. Let's make this a little sidebar. He already had a reputation before they started dating. He had already had a reputation for dogging women out. Was this before or after Sierra? So we already knew that he was treating his kid. He was like not paying his kids attention and treating his baby mom bad and all this other stuff. So I'm not saying that he didn't break her heart. I'm just saying that should she have been surprised? That's all I'm saying. Yes. So that's what I was going to say. Yes. Now she is not as attractive as she was before. And even with her aging, I believe that she still would have been beautiful without all that plastic surgery, right? But so you see her go through the ringer. And this is a lady who, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a lady who has expressed in the past wanting to be married, wanting to have children, wanting to have a family. I don't think I'm just making this up. And here's another thing I'm going to say. If you as a woman are actively dating, then you can't tell me that you don't need a man, not interested in a man. That don't make no sense, okay? So from your behavior of actively dating, it would be safe to assume that you were looking for a man looking to get married. She wanted to marry 50 Cent. I mean, she's still single though. Let's look around. She's still single, okay? And to finish the conversation that Leah and I were having about her producing the first lady of BMF thing, yes, it's giving very obsessed. It's giving stalker. It's giving full of regret. But anyway, she's still single, okay? Now, she's living good as far as we know. From all accounts, she's living good. She's living fine. But that attitude that she has now, you know, that attitude that we get when our heart has been broken, when we see the man that we love moving on and maybe we haven't moved on. So now, instead of us saying, well, maybe it was me, maybe I messed up, I knew I shouldn't have picked this nigga. I knew he wasn't no good. Everybody was already telling me, there was already rumors. It's all my fault. Instead of that, which I have not heard her say any of that. Instead of that, now it's a whole independent woman, I don't need a man campaign. And I don't think I'm wrong to assume that Miss Vivica has had plenty of opportunities to date since 50 Cent. So what happened? What happened between then and now? You're still in the same situation, right? And you're even making moves that make it look like you're stalking this dude. And so instead of her saying, you know, look, I was tripping. I didn't give the right man a chance. Da 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 da. Instead of her saying that, her whole thing is, oh, I'm too good. I'm a queen and I don't have to settle. Again, lies. Lies. That's not what happened. She been too playing that game in her whole and she ain't even doing that right. Because in the movie, at least she ended up with the man, right? She ain't even doing that right. And so it's like, what you'll have women watching this. You'll have younger, misdirected Black girls lost watching this, thinking that, let me save myself the heartache and embarrassment. I'ma just treat all niggas like dogs. You won't work. You won't acknowledge that, ooh, maybe that was just a bad experience. Let me see what I can do differently. Let me see what I need to change about me and my attitude. Maybe I need to take some time alone. And another thing is like, we confuse dating with being in a relationship. Okay. Um, Dating is just that, dating, friending. Maybe that's what you should call it, friending. Okay. Um, where you just enjoy the company of a man for a certain number of hours and then you take your tail home and he goes where he goes. Dating is not sleeping with this one and that one. And I know y'all gonna get mad at me for saying this, but dating is not having this one pay your bills and this one buying you stuff, because I guarantee you, ma'am, sis, cousin, all them bills being paid and all that buying you stuff is not for free, you're giving up some coochie. Stop lying to the people around you. And this is another thing that I hate. I hate when girls tell all these lies. Oh, he bought me this. Oh, he bought me that. And I ain't did nothing. Nope, I ain't have to give nothing up. Please stop lying. Please stop lying. Because you lead other women to try to play this same a game that you're not even playing yourself. And so here's the thing. It's like, how you know? Listen, that is one thing about being friends with dudes. They're going to tell it. They're going to tell it. And a dude will tell you the truth about what's going on way before a female will. Because every female have the same story. Every time. But yet y'all single, can't get married, baby daddy not doing what he's supposed to do. So what happened? Well, I thought your coochie was so magical and you had him in check and he was just spoiling you and giving you everything. And so what happened? If it's all that, if he's so in love with you, at what point did it change? But I bet there's no answer for that question. And see, you know another way I know dudes ain't lying? Because of the way y'all sit around and talk about them. Because of the way all he wanted was some coochie, but all you gave him was some coochie. That's all you had to offer him. Because what did you say? What did you say when he was like, hey, you know, I want to spend some time together? When he asked you if he could come through. When he let me come through and watch a movie. Your silly behind said yes. When he said, hey, let's run to the Waffle House real quick, your silly behind accepted that. When he pulled up in front of the $20 an hour motel with the door on the outside, your silly behind accepted it. And hear what I'm saying. That's cool if that's what you want to do. But don't then turn around and complain to everybody else, or don't then lie and tell us this man had you at Roof Chris when you know good and well y'all was over there at the fish shack, standing outside eating your food. And now hear me, there's nothing wrong with a man taking you to the Waffle House. I personally wouldn't go for it if I was dating. Like, that's not a date to me. That's like we just left somewhere and we're still hungry, so we're gonna go to the Waffle House. Waffle House is not a date, but do your thing, boo. Like, if that's what you want to accept, that's cool. Okay. But sidebar, what you accept in the beginning, like, it's not going to get much better than that. And what I mean is, if you don't require a man to do much at the beginning, he's not going to be motivated to do much for you ever else in the relationship. How do I know? Think about the last time you gave up some coochie really quick. What did you get after that? Where is he now? Just look back and think. So when you let a man come in buying you McDonald's and Burger King, he think that's all he ever has to do for you. No, Waffle House ain't allowed. You know, we love the Waffle House in this good Georgia family. Yes, in this family. So even when me and my husband were dating, Waffle House wasn't a date. That was like after the movies or after we finished hanging out or something like that. That was not, oh, let me pick you up and take you to the... As a family, yes. Like, now that that's my husband, we sit around chilling. You want some Waffle House? Hell yeah, let's go. Now I don't care. We can go to Applebee's, we can go to Chili's, whatever. But what I'm saying is, when you begin the bar so low, don't ever expect him to... He's not going to work more than he has to. And I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I've heard this from women, especially this tends to happen to women who marry really young. I'm talking like 18, 17, 19, 20. I'm talking about that kind of young before you've had a chance to even get to know what you like, what you want out of life. Okay. A lot of times those women have not had the chance to develop that. And so 10, 20 years later, they're sitting around like, oh, he won't do this for me. He won't do that for me. But he never had to. So why would he now? Ain't nobody about to wear no LBZ and open toe shoes to the Waffle House. You know what? So why would he have to? I mean, it's just like you, ma'am, sis cousin. If he tells you, oh, you don't never have to cook for me, it's fine, then you're never going to. Well, why am I gonna stress myself out? Okay, cool. So it's the same thing. And there's a difference between realistic standards and unrealistic hyperbolic standards. Angelina, shalom and shalom says, y'all excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. So there's a difference between realistic, healthy standards and unrealistic hyperbolic standards. Okay. And what I'm saying is, okay, me and my husband went on a first date. And he loves to tell the story about how much he spent on that first date. He can't get over it to this day. He still talks about it like it's a shock to his system, as if he hasn't spent more money on me than that. But this first date was like a shocker to him. And this how I know that y'all not living like y'all say y'all living, because that $300 should not have been a big deal to me. Okay. I had just came from Jersey. So when I was dating in the city. Okay. That's not cheap at all. So like that $300 is like, okay, that's a date. That sounds like a date to me. But where was I going? See, he's still complaining about it. He's still complaining about it right now today. Right. That was our first date. Okay. Oh, I know what I was about to say. All right. That just happened. We went to Atlantic Station. I forgot what restaurant we went to. It was a steakhouse. It was so yummy. We went on a date. Here's the thing. I asked before I ordered on this date. Now, let me tell you what my husband did do. We walked in the restaurant. There was a wait. He slid the host $20 to get us seated right away. So I'm like, okay, he's trying. Okay. But even with me seeing that, I did not take that as a green light. Oh, time to run this nigga pockets. No, y'all be going about it all wrong. Before I order anything, I ask, can I get this? Is it okay if I get that? Do you mind if we get this? That is one thing. But y'all sitting on the phone with a nigga, oh, you got to take me to such and such, and I'm not leaving the house for less than this, and we got to. Now that is totally bogus. That's where y'all wind up getting in trouble. Because if you think that a man, if he has the money, won't spend a couple $100 just to hit it real quick, then you obviously don't know men enough to be out here dating, because they will. They will. The ones that got it, they will buy you a little funky purse, a little funky pair of shoes. They will. And you don't want to work up to that. You don't want to work up to that. You feel like this man should just be so enamored with your presence that he should lay everything that he has at his feet. See, this is the problem with refusing to accept reality. Okay? Anything that you get easy, it's not going to last, and it's probably not what you think it is. All right? It's just like when you go and get a cheap Louis bag. It's not going to last, and it's not even the real thing. This is what you don't understand. When a man sits you down on a date and what are you looking for in a man? And you tell him, I want somebody to be nice to me and my kids. I like flowers. I want to go out on dates. You know, I want a man that prays with me, and I want a man that knows his word and goes to church. If you think that man is not about to be praying with you on the phone every night, if you think that he's not about to be, if he don't get up and go to church, he gonna be asking you, oh, how was church? Because that's what you said you wanted. And that's the problem with y'all getting on here talking about what you will and won't do. Y'all act like it's not predators. A man, the more money a man has, the more options he has. And y'all fail to realize that you too can be an option. He'll sit there and he'll tell you how pretty you are and tell you that you're gorgeous and tell you, yes, I want to be married one day. Yes, I want to have children and I want to and he will tell you everything that he needs to tell you to get you where he want to get you. And then when he is done with that, you'll be sitting on social media yet again talking about how all men is dogs and you not settling for nothing less than such and such, as if a man pouring out his pockets is going to make up for the past hurt, the past pain, or help heal you or prove that that man loves you. I mean, let me tell you something. Anybody, any man that, and I hesitate to say some stuff because, you know, I'm not a man, right? So I don't like to just assume things. I just go from my own personal experience. Any man that has you around and you are not bringing any results to his life does not really see any use for you, and you won't be around long. That part, legs closed, Bibles open. And so this goes back to the whole, what does the woman have to bring to the table conversation. And I feel like mainstream media answering this question has simplified it to a materialistic standpoint. And the fact of the matter is, what a woman is supposed to bring to the table is supposed to be so much more than materialistic. But these women don't know that, don't know how to articulate that, and or don't possess that. So instead of them being willing to actually come to the conversation, they'll just tell you, I am the table. What? Make all these 304s love you by using what they share. They want easy birth. See? That's what they do. I've heard the story multiple times. Me and my husband and one of his friends was just sitting around talking, and he was like, I'm gonna make her fall in love with me. I'm like, what? What? Y'all really out here doing this? Yes, it's still bad. That's still. Okay. But what was I saying? Okay, so listen. Let me tell y'all something, okay? And I don't mean no disrespect to my husband when I say this. This is a past life that I'm talking about here, okay? But even when you're dating someone who's trying to build something, if you're not willing to help and participate, like, don't expect them to take you seriously. Why would they? But this is what I be telling y'all about. You should be dating up. You should be dating up. You should be dating toward the kind of life that you want. Okay, listen. If you're cool with a manager at Walmart and the salary that he makes, then fine. Start there. Okay. But if you're saying, hey, I want somebody with a little bit more, then maybe find the manager at Walmart that got a plan. You know what I'm saying? what you want and what you need is around you. It's in your vicinity. You just refuse to see it because it's not already packaged the way you want it to be. I mean, look, my husband been since we known each other since what, 11? Since like I came here in like 92, I was 11. I would never have thought that like 20 something years later that I will wind up marrying this man. There are people that have come in. So let me just speak for me, okay? I don't want to make assumptions for y'all, even though I'm pretty sure it's true for y'all, right? There have been men that I have dated that were well able to provide more than I could have think to ask at the time. I mean, I'm in my young 20s, okay? Um, but my mind was not in working and building. My mind was what a lot of these girls, women, because it's 30, 40-year-old women still walking around with this mindset. My mind was, oh, well, I'm here, do for me. I'm here, pay my bills, make me easy. You want the pleasure of my company, then you should be making my life as easy as possible. But why? But why? Don't get me wrong. Yes, I'm special. There's no one like me. Sure. But at the end of the day, I'm not the only woman walking the earth. And as much as I love my husband, and as much as I know my husband loved me, I know that if I decide to get out of line and stop being cooperative, that it won't take a second for him to replace me. It won't take a second. The hoe is in his phone right now, probably stalking his Facebook, liking his pictures and leaving comments right now. So I'm not unaware of that fact. And that is also why I'm so baffled at women walking around as if they're God's gift. I'm just going to say it. Okay. And yes, women were made for men. Yes, I get that. So I'm not saying that, no, that's not what it is. But when you put yourself on a pedestal as if you're the sustainer here, as if it's your job to provide here, as if you're the one that's going to have to take the responsibility for this woman, the offspring you create, and the life that y'all make. When you walk around like that, who will want to be with you? There can't be two men in a relationship. There can't be two heads. We both can't be the leader. There's not more than one CEO. And I need and I want so desperately for us to come off that imaginary high horse and step into reality and look at what's going on around us, okay? Because even if you've graduated from college, even if you have your degree, like I said, a lot of times we're first generation college graduates, first generation entrepreneurs, first generation professionals. So we're still building something here. And let's go back and realize that the goal is to build something for our children, not necessarily for us. Yes, all praises to the Most High. We get to enjoy our pleasures. We can have our fun. We are allowed that. But the wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. That's the goal. My goal personally is that my kids never have to ask anybody for anything. I don't want them to have to fill out a job application. I don't want them to have to I don't want them to have to ask anyone for anything. I want our businesses to be sufficient enough to provide for them and their families. And then I want them to be able to sit around and materialize their ideas to continue in the work that their father does of making his vision a reality. That's what I want my children to be doing with their life. That's the goal here. So no, guess what? Every day I don't want to take care of these dogs. These dogs get on my nerves sometimes, y'all. but it's part of the vision. And God forbid anything happens to me or my husband right now today, they can continue with these dogs. They can continue with these shirts. They can continue with these bouncy houses. This is the stuff they can continue with. But if I was sitting here being ridiculous, petty, immature, pestilent, just all kind of evil, my children would have nothing to show for it but some purses, some cars, and some pictures from some vacations. And this is, you've got to start thinking long term. Life is not about the next Instagram photo. It's not about the next live. It's not about the next TikTok. It's not about who's going to see you in your car. Can I tell y'all something? Like, don't get me wrong. Okay. I've always had a dream car. I've always loved Audis. Like, I've always liked nice things. But now that we are accumulating real property, I could give a damn about those things. I really don't care. Would I love to have an Audi still? Absolutely. But you know what? We got 2 vehicles out here. They run, they're paid for. So I'm gonna drive these till the wheels fall off. I don't. Now that you see what money can really do, what it can really get you, now you understand the importance and your priorities change. Do I still look at bags and yes, I have a cart full of stuff at a few different stores right now. But no lie, every time I go to spend it, it's like, do I need this? What is this going to do? And even though I'm not spending life-changing money, I'm not. But my husband's guidance as far as my financial behavior is even affecting how I spend my little spending money because I see what saving money can do now. I've never been a saver. My husband always has. And I've seen how during our slow times, the account will go down a little bit, but then he bring it right back up. And I've seen us save money and be able to do things and have things, real things, so that God forbid something happened to us. Okay, well, we can sell this and make a nice little chunk of change. When you cannot see the reality of what money can produce, then you just limit it to makeup and clothes and shoes and cars and purses and dates. But when you start to see that, now your interest is peaked and continuing to grow. I don't care if I never get another Louis Vuitton bag. I know we got a vision to buy this land and build houses on this land so our family can have our own land so my kids don't have to ever go out here and try to rent an apartment, rent somebody else's house, nothing like that. That's what I know the plan is now. When you can go get what you want, but it's no longer priority, is when maturity has kicked in. Hey, because I can go get it. I can go get a couple of Louis Vuitton bags right now. For me and my kids and my daughters. But why? That bag is only going to last for a while. Even if it lasts for 20, 30, 50 years, it's a bag. All I will ever do is carry stuff in it. Nobody can live in it. It's not, even if you're saying like, okay, well, that whole bag can't go to buy a house. But see, this is what you don't realize is it's not just one bag. It's a habit. Shopping is a habit. So yeah, it's just this one bag this month, but then next month, oh, I need to treat myself to another bag. And by the end of the year, that's what, $20,000 on the low end that you've spent on things that are of no real importance. Because you may have paid $3,000, $35,000, $4,000 for that bag, but as soon as you take it home, now it's only worth $1,500 because you put your paws on it. Retail therapy, right? And listen, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with retail therapy. You just got to know when to check it. And I thank God for my husband, because like I was going through going through a growing phase that I'm going through now. And like the last week or week before last was kind of hard on me. So I did find myself doing like resale therapy. I was just doing some emotional shopping. But because he'd already been talking to me about managing my finances better, and I've determined that that was my goal, when he brought it to my attention, I was able to say, yeah, I got to stop doing this. This is emotional shopping. I have to stop. But if you're not willing to hear that advice, if you're not willing to heed that advice, if you feel like your husband is just there to serve you and to make you happy and to satisfy your whims, then you're never going to come to that point of maturity and growth. You still don't want to work and you don't want to build. And let's talk about how y'all don't want to clean, because this is even before you get into marriage. Your car ain't clean and your apartment ain't clean. Come on now. All he has to judge you on is what he sees. Brothers, if I was you, I would be, and look, I know the sneak up is unorthodox, but I would find some way to sneak up on her and check out her cleanliness. Okay? Because let me tell you something. As a housewife, cleaning up a house full of people get hard. Okay? It's hard. Sometimes I'll walk around the house and I'll be like, this is dirty. Who gonna clean this up? And then be like, oh yeah, me. I gotta clean it up. I gotta do this laundry. Sir, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Ma'am, sis cousin, let me just be honest with you. If you are having a hard time managing to keep clean behind yourself and one or two children, however you may have, having to clean up behind a man and any more children is just really gonna just be the crucible for you. Because mainly, while it is a joy to clean up behind my husband, you still gotta clean up behind him, okay? And they don't like to put clothes in the hamper. I moved the hamper to our bedroom. It's right there on the corner of the dresser. Like, you literally can't miss. And this man still will put his shoes and his socks and his pants right next to the hamper, right next to it. Not in it, right next to it. Like he missed the 3 and just left it there on the side. If you cannot clean up behind yourself and your little crew, it would not be wise to add a man to this equation. And this man is going to come in with his own ideas about cleanliness. Like, I remember one friend I had, her husband was like really obsessed with the floor being clean. When he was a kid, that was his job, to clean the floors, right? So she was telling me like she would clean the whole house and leave the floors for last. And he will walk in and be like, the house not clean, just because the floors were dirty. My husband is kind of OCD. The bedroom has to be clean for him. Like, he can't, if he comes in there and it's too much clutter, it doesn't matter what time it is. It could be midnight, 2:00 in the morning. He's going to come in there and he's going to start cleaning up. And I hate it when he does that. Because for me, it's not a big deal for me. Like, as long as it's not too much, our levels of acceptable clutter are different. His tolerance is a lot lower than mine. But as his wife, as his helpmeet, as the other half of this equation, whose work base is my home, then that's my job to take care of that. But if I'm not in that, listen, if you're not in the habit of already cleaning, now this is just another issue that you're going to have to address in your marriage. And I'm not saying you're never going to talk about it. I've told y'all before, me and my husband got in a really bad fight one time about folding up your pajamas and putting them at the end of the bed in the morning. I mean, really, like it was ridiculous. So I'm saying that to say, like, you're already going to have differences that you probably never thought that you would be arguing about that are going to become an issue. So I would advise that you just have some base things down, like cleaning. Not just your surroundings, but y'all are not cleaning your bodies. I know you're not cleaning your bodies because the men are complaining on social media. And now let me just say this, okay? It is 80 something degrees consistently here in Atlanta. Now, me, myself, I find myself taking at least 2 showers a day. I'm talking about one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I'm not talking about the one I take before bed. That would be 3 showers, okay? So, ladies, listen. I understand some of us maybe didn't grow up with best hygiene practices. If y'all want me to go over some hygiene practices, send me a DM. You can slip me a little note or whatever, and I'm happy to do that. But y'all need to start smelling yourself. I know what your mama said, okay? But you need to start smelling yourself. Take a whiff of them underarms. Ladies, figure out what's going on with you. If you smell something that does not smell right, you need to handle that. Upstairs and downstairs. You fold the night clothes and put them at the end of the bed. Sir, please. Anyway. um you smell something that doesn't smell right, you need to address that. I don't like all these summer's eve feminine washes and all that stuff. That actually aggravates bacteria, which can cause odor. Leah, don't be laughing at him. Don't be laughing at him. It can actually make your situation worse. So I don't like all that stuff. You actually should be able to maintain a pleasant, unnoticeable odor with just soap and water. Okay? And a washcloth. Let me add that. Washcloth, loofah, some kind of exfoliating instrument. Okay? Some kind of exfoliating instrument. You need to actually get everything clean. Sis, what she say? I'm in Florida. The water bill almost higher than the lights. Girl, let me tell you something. Yes, but speaking of water bills, we saved, was it $60 last month? That's our first month with our new dishwasher. And I thought those commercials, I thought they'd be lying, because it's like, no way, there's no way. Because I wash dishes like 2-3 times a day, and we turn on a dishwasher at least twice a day. But I was surprised. We actually saved like $60 on our water bill last month, which was amazing to me. So, if you can, y'all don't sleep on the dishwasher. Now, the dishwasher, it does its thing, okay? I love it. It makes it so much easier to keep the kitchen clean. I could go on, but I know y'all don't want to hear about that. But anyway, yeah, so back to hygiene, okay? It's just so much. Maybe I should just do a show on hygiene, because even just deodorant, you'd be surprised at how many people are confused about deodorant, don't know what to do with it. You might have been wearing conventional deodorant, now you're trying to switch to natural deodorant. So it's a lot. Soak in the bathtub at least once a week. I take a bath at least 2 or 3 times a week. I think that's why our water bill be so high. So our water bill be like kicking 300 to between 250 and 300 a month. So yeah. Our water bill high as hell all the time. Let me see. Babe, I told you last month the water bill was 190 something. So we did. I told you that. See, my husband does not look at the bills. I look at the bills and I push the buttons to make sure they get paid, but he don't look at them. And that's a blessing. All praise to the Most High. He ain't got to check the bill. He just tell me to pay it. That is a blessing, because I remember when that wasn't the case. And he done he getting that. Y'all need to stop messing with the coochie deodorant. It's not what's up. It's really not. Yeah, so listen, I don't do sprays and stuff down there. I do unscented panty liners. I will bring them for y'all next week so y'all can see what they are. But even when I'm not on my, even when it's not that time of the month, you still need something in your underwear to absorb all of that sweat and other byproducts of the vagina. Like, we all know that the vagina is a self-cleaning organism. Where do you think all that stuff goes when it's being cleaned out? And why would you want to be walking around with it on you that close to your body anyway? I'm trying to not be too gross here for the guys. But ladies, you understand how moisture can accumulate and that can cause an odor. Um, so we need to be careful for that. Now let me tell y'all something else too. Since I've switched to natural deodorant, I notice a lot of people complaining because they're like, oh, it doesn't stop you from sweating. It doesn't stop you from sweating. It's not, you're not supposed to not sweat. Okay. The aluminum in the conventional deodorant is what stops you from sweating, but that's also what increases our risk for cancer. All right. I know nobody wants to hear, you're not supposed to not sweat. You're supposed to sweat. We have just been conditioned to be embarrassed by sweat. Um, there are people in other countries who do not wear any kind of deodorant, antiperspirant at all. They are not offended by their own body odor. We've been so conditioned to think that everything has to smell like flowers and lilies and baby powder that when a person just smells like a person, we're just automatically turned off. What do I mean by smell like a person? No, I'm not saying be stanky and nasty, right? But if that outside smell, you know what I'm talking about. When the kids come from running outside, be like, ooh, you smell like outside. Even like when I come from walking the dogs, my husband tell me all the time, ooh, you smell like outside. It's not that I stink. It's that I've been outside and I've been sweating and there's an odor that you emit. They should be. What you talking about? The baking soda and no, the baking soda and lemon wasn't working. I tried the alcohol and the lime, that wasn't working. No, I do. So what I do now is native or Hey Humans. Um, I haven't really been able to find Hey Humans at Target like that. So native has been working wonderfully for me. Baking soda and coconut oil, that don't work for me. You know what? Coconut oil does not work for me. Coconut oil dries me out so bad. So I just stay away from coconut oil. Um, but so even with that, y'all, it took me a while to experiment, right? I went through a few things. I went through the underarm detox, not using regular deodorant. That's when I was just doing the alcohol and the limes. And no, it didn't work. It I will say this. I sweat less than I did with conventional deodorant like Dove, Degree, what's that, Secret. When I switched to the native that I use now, or even when I was just detoxing on the lime and alcohol, I was actually perspiring less. So that leads me to believe, and someone else was telling me this too, that the deodorant actually makes you sweat more. I know for some people it makes you sweat more. I sweated more when I was using Secret and Degree and all that other stuff. But now that I'm using native, yes, I sweat, but not nearly as much. Not like I'm not soaking my shirt. Even when I exercise, it's not like that. Um, and so that's another thing that you need to even look into because maybe the deodorant just isn't working for you. And also, you're supposed to switch it up every 6 months. Your body gets used to, or your body adapts to the chemicals that are in the products. So you got to switch that up every 6 months. Sometimes you even got to switch up your toothpaste, your mouthwash. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. I could go on and on talking about this because it and then it goes to the food that you eat. If y'all eating a lot of meat, it creates an odor in your body. Eating a lot of meat, drinking a lot of sugar, eating a lot of junk, it creates an odor. When you eat fruit and vegetables, you smell like fruit and vegetables. When you eat dead meat, you smell like dead meat. And a lot of us are not regular. We won't take care of our gut health. So we're not emptying ourselves in regular intervals. Some of y'all walking around here constipated, haven't took a good poop in weeks. You can't figure out why you can't think straight, why your stomach is always hurting. It's because you don't feed yourself food. You feed yourself crap. You won't eat a vegetable to save your life. And it's very, very important for us to do that. Water also. But I will say this. Since I started eating more raw fruits and vegetables, I find myself less thirsty. Like I'm drinking less actual cups of water. I'm telling you, like when you really start to examine this stuff and learn for yourself, you'll see how a lot of what we've been taught has been conditioned and is not just natural ways of being. I know an Asian girl that says her family laugh at Americans because they say we smell like cows. They can smell the dairy through the pores. I'm sure they probably can. There's a smell, just like you can smell curry on them. Like I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but just like that, like you can smell curry on the Indians that use curry real heavily. Have you ever lived in a building in the north and smelled all the different ethnicities of food in one time? Like if you walk in a building in East Orange near dinner time, you will smell all kinds of different ethnicities and flavors. And so I'm sure we all, have our smells. I think I'll drink more water when I'm doing the raw fruits and vegetables. What I have switched to is spring water. Spring water quenches my thirst more than faucet water or regular water. Even the filtered water that we get out the fridge, you know what I'm saying? Like spring water quenches my thirst way more than that. It'll burn your nose hairs. Yes, it will. It's interesting. Sometimes it's good, but it's interesting smell. And even our mouths, people, you have to floss. I know, no, I don't know, because I've been working in the oral surgery field for years. So I'm constantly hearing brush and floss, brush and floss. But you have to floss, people. Like a lot of the reason why your breath stinks is because you got dead meat and dead food stuck between your teeth. I don't think you realize that. Like when you eat, you pick the meat out, that's not all of it. There are little particles of food that are like stuck in between your teeth on your gum line that you can't see, but they will leave an odor. And this is what I'm saying. Floss your teeth and then smell the floss. Floss your teeth and then smell it. That's how your breath has been smelling. That's what you've been breathing in other people's face. Eat from grandma smell just like rice and beans. No matter if she cooking them. I bet you them rice and beans is good though. Okay. Scraping. Yes, please. If you don't have a tongue scraper, please brush your tongue. Choke on it. Okay. That is so much odor and bacteria in your tongue and in between your teeth. Just brushing your teeth is not sufficient. I went and got myself an electric toothbrush so I can make sure that I'm brushing my teeth for 2 minutes. We're only getting older. And the fact of the matter is, you can keep your teeth for your whole life. You don't have to lose your teeth. It's a matter of taking care of it, though. honestly, coconut water is pink. They said it's the best coconut water. It's supposed to get pink over time. I don't know. I don't like coconut water, so I'm not going to do that. Yes, please choke on it. Choke on it. Choke on the toothbrush, please. You should gag a little bit when you're brushing your teeth. You know how long your tongue is? You got to get all the way back there. Stop. Come on now. We all grown here. Sir, that's not meant in the way that you mean it right now. You know, and again, it's like how you want a man to want to give you the world. How you want a man to want to give you the world and you won't even take care of yourself? He can't even come to your house and be comfortable because you got La Familia, the cucarachas all up in the living room and stuff. He don't want to eat at your house. The microwave nasty, the stove nasty, the floors is dirty, the kids is always nasty. Eyes be all red. They just ought to be. That's how you know you brushed it really, really good. Let's discuss this a little later. Sir. Anyway. And here's what y'all, I don't know. You know, one thing I am thankful to my mom for, she did not play that. Like, she did not play about our hygiene at all. You get up, you brush it before you come to her kitchen talking about anything for breakfast, talking about Leah, I'ma slap you. Why I thought she was about to say, how you want a man to give you the world? You won't show up. This is so funny to me because you sound exactly like something my husband would say. That's why it's so freaking funny. But no, we weren't allowed. Y'all don't laugh at Leah. We weren't allowed to have bad hygiene growing up. Like, I remember being in the mall and somebody walked by smelling a little funky. My mom jacked me up against the car, had my arms up, lifting, smelling all under my mom did not play that. And I'm so thankful for it because I thought everybody's mom was like that. But as I have grown up, I have come to see that no, that's not true. Y'all have got to do better. I have talked to grown women who have told me that they do not keep track of their cycle, so they will often wake up with a man in the bed and it looking like a crime scene. And then may I just say that that's just trifling? I'm gonna just say that's trifling. I don't know. I don't want to hear about it's unpredictable. Listen, you know she's unpredictable. Get you some panty liners. Wear you a light pad. There's no reason that your man should. And listen, I'm not saying accidents don't happen. But from these conversations, this is like a monthly occurrence. Why do your man want to go through that? Why? Why? And why would you allow it? Yeah, thank you. You get a hint. You get a hint. Even when I'm eating totally right and I don't have excruciating cramps, you get the little hint that she's coming. And these are grown women. Grown women. And I can't understand it. You won't keep your house clean. You won't wash your behind, but you'll go out here and get a freaking BBL and a tummy tuck and everything else. You'll go out here and get Botox. You'll spend all this money. You'll spend all this money just to not upkeep it. Okay, so you got a BBL, but your butt stinks. What you get it for? You got a tummy tuck, but you still not cleaning out your belly button, so it still stinks. What you get it for? Plan B. If you know that you took the plan B, well then you. Anyway, I ain't gonna talk about that. Yeah, listen. Let me tell y'all something. Something that I have just realized as I've gotten older. And like, especially after having the last 2 babies, you have to adjust the way that you clean your behind as it grows. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Listen, I meant what I said. You need to adjust the way you clean your behind as that thing grows. Like, make sure if you have the ability, get you a bidet, boo. Get you a bidet. Let me tell you something. That thing will change your life. And now I'm a person who, after every time I use a bathroom, will have to go get soap and washcloth and tighten that situation up. Okay. I was never one to just wipe after a number 2 and keep walking. I always know I would wash my hands, let the paper towel get wet, wipe myself with the paper towel, clean myself up all good because it's wet. And now I'm done. I don't understand how y'all just be wiping yourself with tissue and getting up. That's not cool. And that's nasty. Yes, get it really good. Like really, really good. Especially if you have nails. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all people with nails, especially them long ones, I come to your house and you ain't got no nail brush, I'm not eating there. I'm not eating there because how you cleaning up under all them nails without a nail brush? I got questions. This is stuff y'all need to be paying attention to too. Y'all walking around with these XLs and these clackers and all kind of crap is under there. Why? That's not cool at all either. You don't want to clean. You don't want to clean a house. You don't want to clean up behind a man. You just want to be useless. You basically just want to be a statue. You just want some nigga to find you and house you and let you lay up in his house and not do nothing. And that's just crazy. Because then you're the same ones. If I don't want to give it up, I'm not going to give it up. And then when they wear thongs with poop pebbles on them, not poop pebble. But it's true. But it's true. That's what happens. So, you know what? I don't know. If y'all want me to do like a more in-depth show about hygiene and cleanliness, I will, because it's very important. I feel like we don't discuss it. It's just so much that because we didn't get a very well-rounded childhood that we just don't know. We just don't consider. And because we are getting a lot of our dating education from social media and people who are lost themselves, it just the mess keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, at first women just wanted a black man with a job. And then it went to, oh, I don't want to have to, punch a clock. I want to be able to be a housewife. But now y'all is talking about, oh, I don't want to have to do anything. You should just marry me and I should just be able to lay up all the time. That we can't keep doing that. Y'all keep raising the standards. Are you raising your own standards? I still got 3 minutes. I'm wrapping up. Okay, so my producer has just come and told me that I need to start discussing our sponsors. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Please follow me on all your social medias, IG, TikTok, Facebook at Miss Mono's World. Don't forget to follow the wonderful, the lovely, the oh so sexy at Monologue Magad. Facebook, TikTok, not TikTok. He ain't on TikTok. He's on Facebook and he's on IG. Don't forget to download the Nasaya TV app every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Not only am I coming at you live on YouTube, but I'm also live on the Nasaya TV app. You can download that on your Roku, your Fire Sticks, your Apple TVs, wherever you watch TV near you. Also, don't forget to follow our doggies at Mono's Westside Bullies. We have 2 litters dropping soon. My baby, our pocket bully, Shira, she's in heat now. So she may be getting pregnant soon. So yes, I know so many. I can't take her outside. Literally, when I'm walking outside in the neighborhood, people stop and ask me about her. So please go ahead and follow at Mono's Westside Bullies on Instagram, TikTok. To keep up with the pups. If you feel led to give, please Cash App $, the House of Mono. If you feel led to donate to these lights, these cameras, and these actions, we live over here on Thursdays. Follow me on Facebook, because guess what? I'm cooking live on Facebook now. I'm not really on no kind of schedule, but like yesterday, I made some lemon rice pilaf and some lemon and herb marinated steak. It was so delicious. It was so yummy. I'm gonna be doing more stuff like that. So if you're not keeping up, keep up. If you're not with it, get with it. Don't forget to follow all of my sponsors. Don't forget to follow my husband. If you haven't downloaded, download on Apple Music, Spotify. It's 10 o'clock. I'm out of here. Good night. I love you. Shalom.